Welcome back to Project 613. Today's mitzvah is that it is forbidden for a person to borrow money knowing that you would have to pay back interest. You see, we learned yesterday that it's forbidden for a lender to lend money with interest. And if the Torah wouldn't have repeated this about the borrower, one would have thought that only the lender would be in violation of a prohibition if he lends money with interest. Similar to a case when someone defrauds someone, that the blame can only be put on the one defrauding, not on the one who was defrauded. And similarly here, we would say that the one charging the interest should be in violation of the prohibition, not the one who is being charged. And it's for this reason that the Torah repeats this prohibition and clearly directs it at the borrower, saying that it's forbidden to borrow money knowing that will have to be repaid with interest, to make the borrower responsible as well for being part of such a transaction. Now, this doesn't apply only to paying back money. It would be considered paying back with interest even if one pays back with a favor or with even a kind compliment, so long as the lender is receiving in return not only the amount he lent, but that amount plus something else. Even if it's not money, that would be considered a violation of this prohibition. In addition to the borrower violating this prohibition, by participating in such a loan, by borrowing money in a loan that is charging interest, he is also causing the lender to violate the lender's prohibition, and with that, the borrower is also violating an additional biblical prohibition that we learned about lifnei iver lo titen michshol, that it's forbidden to place a stumbling block in front of someone. And in this case, the borrower is causing the lender. He's in effect being the stumbling block for the lender that the lender should charge with interest. So you may be wondering, if it's forbidden to lend money with interest, how do Jewish banks operate? How do all the banks in Israel operate? How do Jewish people lend money if they want to make some money off of the deal? The answer to this, in very short, is that there is something called heter iska. And what heter iska means is a very carefully crafted document that allows for the loan to be written up not as a loan, but rather as a business investment, where the lender, rather than lending money to the borrower, is actually investing part of the money with the borrower. And the borrower is acting as the managing director of these funds to invest them and to make money. And then when he pays back the lender, rather than paying back interest, the money that is being paid back is considered as though he's paying back the profits on the lender's investment. And the amount of the profits would be arranged to be the amount of the interest rate, whatever that would be. And of course, such a document is complex, and there are many details that are involved in writing it. Anytime where such a deal needs to be made, where there is a loan between two Jews, a rabbi who is very competent in these laws needs to be consulted to advise on how exactly this document needs to be written up. Of course, once the transaction in effect is changed from a loan to an investment, there are many other details that need to be accounted for. For example, when there's an investment, there's always risk factors, and the lender then has to take in consideration there are risk factors as well. So this agreement is crafted and written in a very careful way to try and limit the risk factors for the lender. Similarly, when there is an investment, the managing director would have to be paid a salary for his time and work, and in this case as well, that has to be accounted for, and all of this is included in the heter iska, in this document that allows for a transaction that seems to be similar to something which is forbidden, but in effect is not violating a single Torah prohibition. And you may be interested to know that all the banks in Israel have such an agreement in place that is overseen by the chief rabbinate of Israel, this heter iska, and so too, when it comes to private loans between Jews, such a thing should be in place. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.